good evening and welcome to the Sport on the Prime with Oreku Ampofo. And it's been a hectic day in terms of football action because we were building up to the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations final, and the final has begun. And in case you needed a reminder, it's between Senegal and Algeria. Remember, Senegal got to the final after beating Tunisia in the semi-final, and Algeria, they got to the final after beating Nigeria in the semi-final. Currently, is Algeria, who lead by 1-0 in the final. We're approaching the 80th minute, and the Les Verts, they took the lead early on in the game. It was about the second minute or so where Boudneja, he had a shot come off Salif Sane, and the ball went all the way up, came all the way down into the net, with the goalkeeper looking stunned. So as things do stand, Algeria are holding on and would be looking to win their first ever AFCON since 1992 when they did win the trophy. Of course, before the game did begin, if you remember, about almost a month ago, we had an opening ceremony to commemorate the tournament. And of course, today being the last day, there was a closing ceremony. Let's take a look at the highlights of how that did go.
Thank you. Shukran.
Of course, Egypt didn't make that final, but the colors in that ceremony were extremely amazing. And also Fuse ODJ, he did cap it off with a wonderful performance, performing his whole Azonto song. But let's now talk about some Ghanaian football. And former sports minister Elvis Afriyie, he has encouraged the Black Stars players to, put on more responsibility. And he spoke during the Upfront show where he said that wearing the national team jersey comes with a responsibility.
Do you know that in professional football, when you're going to play crucial matches, you cannot even have sex with your wife?
I see.
Yes, that asks the high-level coaches. So that's the kind of sacrifice. So I'll be the last person to denigrate players. But that also imposes on them a responsibility, especially when you're playing. You have the honor to be chosen to play for your country. When the national anthem is being played, the national anthem is when the president, we take the salute for the president. Now that anthem is played for you. So it's a huge honor. So in as much as you're sacrificing for the country, you're also being honored, the highest honor. And it comes with a sense of responsibility. So if we want to deal with the problem, let's deal with it from the roots. Trimodena dosododo.
In the team?
Oh yes, it's Ghana, you know, Trimode. We are sick of Trimode. That's our problem.
Trimode is what he is saying has cost Ghana, you know, the inability to win an AFCON trophy. Now 37 years, and we're expecting to go to 39 2 years from now when we go to Cameroon. Hopefully there would be some good news there. But before we go, it's time to catch up on the latest transfers, and don't get too distracted by international football, because the summer transfer window is still open and there are lots of deals you know, flying in and out. The latest being Matthijs de Ligt joining Juventus from Ajax, and now the Dutch defender, he says that Cristiano Ronaldo did influence his signing for the old ladies.
I already had an idea which one it was, but I always said to Mino that I will decide after the Nations League. So then the season is over and I can enjoy my vacation and get some rest, and then after the vacation join a new club. At that moment I was pretty sure it was Juventus, but obviously it was really nice that someone big like Cristiano Ronaldo told me that he asked me if I wanted to join Juventus. So, well, it was a big compliment, but it was not the difference between joining or don't join.
That was 19-year-old Matthijs de Ligt. I'm sure he doesn't look 19 at all. But yeah, he would be playing in Juventus next season. But now time to talk about some tennis. And Ghana used to be a powerhouse in tennis, especially in the early 90s, but lost its clout in that fraternity. It clawed back the lost glory in 2005 as Henry J. Darko dominated African tennis. Since then, Ghana has failed to produce an African tennis star. But today, a Ghanaian NGO based in the United States, you know, tennis in Africa, is working to restore Ghana's image in the sport. Now, as part of the effort, the organization organized a one-day tennis clinic to hunt for talent. Well, here is the report with more info.
Aspiring tennis stars between the ages of 4 and 16 were taken through the rudiments of the sport to help them build on their skills and self-confidence. The Chief Executive Officer of Tennis in Africa, Patience Kodia, believes this clinic will help restore Ghana's lost glory in tennis.
There is so much tennis talent around, and I think Ghana has a lot of athletes who are just not being discovered. And so as we try to bring children to play tennis, we want to find some talent. We want to actually just keep them engaged off the streets and doing something positive.
Fafakwesi Mawinawisi, a pupil of Sunflower School, expressed delight with the US-based NGO. He's already dreaming of becoming a Ghanaian tennis star.
I want to be the best tennis in Ghana, and I represent my country always in any tournament. Yeah, I want to take it as my profession, because nowadays there are a lot of banks which are collapsing. So when you get tennis to be a profession, it can send you high in future.
Tennis in Africa says it will not relent in its efforts to unearth new talents to restore Ghana's image in tennis.
Very inspirational speech there. Hopefully we do see more children delve into not just tennis but sports in broad and lift the name of Ghana high. But that is all that time would allow us here on the Sports on Prime. My name is Oreku Ampomo.